ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time again to do our NFL predictions and best bets for week 2 of the 2025 NFL season. What we're going to do today is we're going to go game by game over all 16 of our matchups coming up for week 2, and we're going to try to predict the outcome, the winner, the loser, the final scores on these games, but we'll be focusing on the in-depth best bets on all the matchups. The money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. First things first, though, if you are a football fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, by all means, drop them below. Whether you agree, disagree, drop a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what your predictions are for week 2, and I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. We go over every single game every week this entire NFL season. And we'll also do the same thing for college football as well. So if you're a sports fan, if you're a football fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, as of me making this video, the Monday night game has not happened for week 1 of the NFL football season. So we won't fully know the results for that game as we making this. But so far, we have 15 games in the book. We've gone 13-2 so far on our Moneyline pick. So a great way to start the season. Let's try to continue that momentum. Let's go ahead and get started. The very first game that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be our Thursday night game. Gosh, we are so happy football's back. Thursday night, September 11th at 8:15 p.m. This, of course, is going to be our prime football game. We're going to have the Washington Commanders coming in here 1-0. What a game for Jaden Daniels week 1. He showed, if you forgot what this guy is capable of, he definitely reminded you of it in week 1. They'll be on the road versus the 1-0 Packers. I have to say it like this. That was one of the most impressive wins of the entire week 1 slates. They completely dominated the Lions. The Lions, the number 1 offense from last season, 33.1 points a game. They shut it down. They could not throw the ball. They couldn't run the ball. They were scoring on their defense. Jordan Love, massive steps forward this season. He has a lot more weapons. Right now, the Packers at home, 54.9% chance to win. Washington, a 44.8%. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. The over in this game is going to be 47.5. This is two very talented rosters facing off. Two teams that were averaging in the 28-point area last season. Washington, obviously Jaden Daniels, the offensive rookie of the year last year, just lighting it up, throwing the ball, running the ball. He has Austin Eckler, Tylen, Zach Ertz, a lot of veterans here, and at the wide receiver position, he has Scary Terry, Brown, Deebo Samuel comes in, a lot of talent, but how about those Packers and what they did week 1? I cannot forget what I saw on the field. Josh Jacobs, Wilson, Love, Dubs, Golden, the first-round pick coming in. He is a potential upset guy. That's the guy who could be your primary go-to. Then, of course, you can't forget about Jaden Reed. But the way that both of these teams' defenses played in week 1 shows you both of them have an equal shot to win this game. But I'm ultimately going to go with the Packers. They are at home. To me, they have the better overall defense, a top 10 rush defense from last season, only giving up 96 yards on the ground. They got to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket, bottle him up, force him into third and long situations. He can beat you with his arms, but you got to take something away from him. At least take the run game away. Give me Green Bay winning this one, 27-23. And our next game we're going to be looking at, we're going to be moving on to our Sunday matchups at 1 p.m. on Fox. We have the Chicago Bears again. As me making this video, the Monday night game hasn't happened, so I don't know how they're going to look versus the Vikings. They're going to be on the road here versus the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions got completely clobbered in week 1. They are 0-1. They want to get things back on track. The number 1 offense from last season. Top 10 overall defense. It's injuries that held them back from going deeper in the playoffs last season. They're a lot healthier right now. They are very deep at the skilled position. They want to rebound from that atrocious start, and they definitely have the talent to do that. Campbell, replacing coordinators, getting everyone oiled up. Once this offense gets going, it's going to be really hard to stop them. Right now, Detroit, 62.9% chance to win. The Bears, a 36.8%. Detroit, 4.5-point favorites, a 48.5 over-under. The Bears, there's a lot we need to learn week 1. Obviously, Johnson, new head coach coming in, offensively focused team. Caleb Williams, what strides has Caleb Williams taken forward in that week 1 matchup versus the Vikings? He has DeAndre Swift. He has Odunze. Moore. There's weapons there for him to use. We just need to see him take some steps forward. They don't have a great offensive line, but definitely should be better than it was last season. They had a lot of very close losses last year for the Lions. They have a defense that's capable of a lot. You have Jared Goff, not a good week 1 start, but that's the way it works for him. He has a bad start. The very next week, he goes off for 350 yards. That's the way it's always worked. A really deep 1-2 running back rotation. Montgomery, Gibbs, Laporta, St. Brown, Williams. There's weapons up and down this team, and they're due for a good start. Give me Detroit getting back on track, getting back in the win column. They win this one 27-17. And our very next matchup on Sunday at 1 p.m. Also, it's going to be on Fox. We're going to have the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. Both these teams are winless. Both are 0-1. Both would love to start out number 2 here, get a win, get back to 500. The Cowboys, 63.7% chance to win this game. Don't forget, Dallas almost won that game on Thursday. Some would say that they should have won it. They definitely had a lot of shots. If CeeDee Lamb just catches 1 or 2 of those balls that bounce off his hands, the Dallas Cowboys probably win and they upset the defending champs. Right now, the Giants, 36.0% chance to win. Dallas is 3.5-point favorites, 44.5 over-under. But they showed with their new coaching staff, this team can get up. They can be competitive. They can play with the best of them. The Giants, not a knock to them. They are definitely not the best of them. If you can compete with the Eagles, you should be able to bring that momentum, compete with the Giants. Right now, looking at both of these teams, obviously the Giants shuffling somewhat with the quarterback position, but they're going to be going with Russell Wilson here, probably going to be the starter here. They have Jackson Dart. You're probably going to see both of them on the field this game. Theo Johnson, the wide receiver room, it's all going to sit around Malik Nabers. He's a true wide receiver number 1. He's your primary target. Feed this guy the ball. Give him the ball in space. Throw it up to him. Do anything you can to give the ball to one of the top playmakers in the NFL. And obviously the Dallas Cowboys, much more production to be found on the roster. You have Dak Prescott slinging the ball up and down the field last week. Like I said, if CeeDee Lamb just catches a couple of those balls, he puts up even better stats, and they might even win that game. Williams had a great game at the running back position. You have Ferguson, you have Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, very deep wide receiver core now. Give me the Dallas Cowboys getting back in the win column. They win this one 23-17. And the next game we're looking at on Fox at 1 p.m., the 1-0 San Francisco 49ers. Very close win they had, but it was a costly one. They lost some of their best players. They'll be on the road versus the 0-1 New Orleans Saints. The Saints right now breaking in a whole lot of new missing pieces, also coming off of a loss. But the 49ers, the amount of guys that are going to be questionable this game, it's really starting to stack up. Jennings, Kittle, Watkins, James, Pleasance. There's a lot of very important pieces. Starting tight end, wide receiver. They're going to be depleted here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. He was questionable to start week 1. He did start. What's going to be his status in week 2? Right now, you have the 49ers coming in here, 7-point favorites, a 65% chance to win. The Saints, a 34.7% chance. The over-under is going to be 43.5. When you're looking at this Saints team, this is a team that hasn't quite performed to what was on the roster the last couple of years. Spencer Rattler is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde guy. He'll have a good game. He'll have a god-awful game. Which version of Rattler shows up? You have Alvin Kamara. The guy's getting older, but still, especially fantasy-wise, one of the best go-to running backs. He runs it. He gets a lot of receptions, racks up a lot of all-purpose yards. You have Juwan Johnson at the tight end position, Shaheed, Cooks, Olave, not a bad wide receiver core, but all of that is dependent on the performance that Spencer Rattler has. And with the 49ers, so much is dependent on them being able to move the ball down so many pieces. They had a lot of trouble moving the ball, getting up to 20 points week 1. Will they be able to do that versus the Saints? Call me crazy here, but I'm actually going to go with New Orleans pulling off the upset. Give me Saints winning this one 23-17. And then on Fox at 1 p.m., the 0-1 Seattle Seahawks coming off that extremely close loss there versus the 49ers. They'll be playing the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. What a game that was versus the Jets. Don't forget, that was a very personal game for both these teams. Obviously, Justin Fields having come from Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers having come from New York. Both of them, they were wanting to win that game. It was more than business. It was personal. It definitely showed on the field. It was a very fun game to watch, though. Right now, this matchup, very close matchup. Steelers come in here 2.5-point favorites. 41.5 over. They have a 55.8% chance to win. The Seahawks, a lot of new pieces, new coaching staff, new quarterback. Sam Darnold coming over a 43.8% chance. The Steelers, very slight favorites, 2.5-point favorites. Rodgers with like 260 passing yards week 1, 4 touchdowns, which was actually the most touchdowns a Steelers quarterback has ever had in their Steelers debut. Looking at these overall rosters, the Steelers showed a lot of fight, especially with a new quarterback who hasn't been on the roster for too long. Looking at the team, obviously you have Rodgers there at the quarterback position. You have Warren. You have Gainwell, the tight end on this team. You have Smith, who is a veteran coming over from Miami, Fairmouth, and then the wide receivers Austin, DK Metcalf. He's that go-to guy. Push the ball to this massive target. He's a playmaker. This is statistically probably the best quarterback he's had in his entire career. Seattle, under the radar good team, getting a lot of hype on the defensive side. Some people saying that they might have a top 10 defense this season. You have Sam Darnold coming off a very strong season with the Vikings, but we know Sam Darnold doesn't always perform the best in the biggest moments. This is going to be a massive moment going up against Aaron Rodgers. He has Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, actually an extremely deep running back combo. Torrey Harton, Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp, the veteran. If they can get everyone healthy and if they can keep them healthy, this is actually not a bad team in any way whatsoever. I think this is going to be a very, very close matchup. But again, this is a 50-50 game. We will revisit this game closer to game day once the lines have changed. But actually, give me the Seattle Seahawks pulling off the upset here, winning this one 24-23. And at 1 p.m. on CBS, the 0-1 Cleveland Browns actually coming off a very close loss versus the Bengals. We did have the Bengals winning that one, but it was like a 17-16 game. The Browns, they're not known for their offense prowess. They were only averaging 15 points a game last year, giving up 25. The defense will be better this season because the offense is actually going to get some first downs, allowing that defense to catch their breath. But they played that high-flying Bengals offense extremely close. Props to the defense for keeping it that close. That's a good showing for this game because they're also going up against the number 3 offense from last season, averaging 30 points a game. The Baltimore Ravens, 1-0, one of the best, if not the best, all-around offensive roster in the NFL. If they could keep up with the Bengals, will they be able to keep up with the Ravens? Right now, Baltimore, 77.4% chance to win. Cleveland, a 22.4%. The Ravens are 12.5-point favorites. That is a massive spread for an NFL game, and I do hate massive spreads. The over-under is going to be 45.5. Looking at the Browns here, they turn to a veteran at the quarterback position. They're going to have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is about 57 years old right now. Guys, that's sarcasm. He's really not that old. They have Ford. Sampson coming over from college. They have Jones, Judy, Tillman, Njoku still there. There's some weapons there to potentially make this a little bit of a competitive game, but will they be able to keep up with the extreme firepower that is on the Ravens? They have Lamar Jackson. This guy can throw for 4,000 to 4,500 yards. He can run for 800 to 1,000 yards. He is a true dual-purpose quarterback. He wants to beat you in the pocket, but if you flush him out, he's going to take you for 25 running the ball, but he's always keeping his eye looking down the field. This offensive roster is loaded. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Likely, Flowers, Bateman, Hopkins, Wester, Wallace, Walker, weapons up and down the field. The number 1 rush defense from last season, only giving up 80 yards on the ground. They have an extremely aggressive front seven. Secondary is kind of questionable, but if you don't have time to throw the ball, that's not really going to matter. Give me Baltimore winning this one, 27-17. And a battle of the 0-1s next on CBS at 1 p.m. The 0-1 New England Patriots. A lot of people, especially Vegas, picking the Patriots to come in second place in their division right now, going up against their division rival here, the 0-1 Miami Dolphins. What the heck happened to the Dolphins Sunday afternoon? That was a pathetic show, and that is honestly the worst I have ever seen the Dolphins look. They were 1.5 underdogs. A lot of people riding Miami to win that game. They came out and they looked like utter garbage on both sides of the ball. McDaniels might find himself on the hot seat, but Tua looked atrocious. He could not hit the bright side of a barn. He does have a weak arm, but he's supposed to be accurate. Definitely was not showing strength, was not showing accuracy this past week in week 1. Right now, this game, people have the Dolphins rebounding here. 55.8% chance to win. The Patriots, a 43.8. Dolphins, 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is going to be 44.5. The Patriots, Drake May getting a lot of offseason hype. People are hyping this guy up. He's the second coming of Tom Brady, supposedly. Sorry, guys. Let's slow it down. I want to see it to believe it first. Let's just take it a little easy. He had an okay season last year. To me, nothing to show that he's going to be a Pro Bowler yet, but he might be. I just want to see, though, that a growth on the field. They've out Diggs, Douglas, and of course the Dolphins. On paper, a loaded offensive roster at the skill positions. Definitely not the line. Definitely not on the defense. Waddle, Hill, Malik Washington, they do need a true number 3. But still, the Dolphins should be a lot more competitive, a lot more disciplined than they showed this past weekend. It's a tough game to call because the Dolphins come out looking like crap again. They're going to lose this game, but I'm going to go with them winning at home. Give me Dolphins winning this one 24-21. And CBS at 1 p.m., the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off that win versus the Panthers. Yes, it was the Panthers, but new coach coming in there. He got his win in Duval County. He was able to pull it off. He gets a lot of that pressure off his back. He was going forward right out the gate, 4th and 1, taking chances. They got the win. That is all that matters. A good first win for a first-time coach. Trevor Lawrence looked better. Some shaky throws, couple potential picks. He did have that one pick, but overall, not a bad showing to start the season. Going up against the Bengals offense, very slow getting going out the gate. They are much better than this. They just got to get that offense on track. This is a team that's going to have a questionable defense basically the entire season. There's going to be a lot of shootouts here. All the Jags can hope to do is will their offensive firepower to be able to keep up with the Bengals if this game turns into a shootout. Will Trevor Lawrence be able to keep the turnovers down if he's forced to possession after possession go down the field and score mano-a-mano with Joe Burrow? That's a tall task to ask, especially for a quarterback who's been known to be a little turnover heavy. Right now, the Bengals, 63.9% chance to win. The Jags, 35.8%. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites, 49.5 over-under. Looking at this Jag team, if they have Travis Hunter at the wide receiver position, they have Brian Thomas Jr., one of the true all-around better wide receivers in the NFL. Just make sure to nonstop feed this guy the ball. You have Strange, Munt, you have Travis Etienne Jr. had a great run right out the gate first quarter. Bigsby, Trevor Lawrence, a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence. He's making money. They want to see consistent product on the field, not for one game, but over the course of the entire season. And then on the other side, the number one passing team in the NFL last year, 275 passing yards a game, but one of the worst god-awful defenses you will ever see in your life. They have Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Samaje Perine, the tight end Sample. You have Higgins, you have Chase, one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver 1 and 2 combo in the NFL. I'm going to go with Burrow. They get the win here at home in Cincinnati. They win it 28-16. And again, at 1 p.m. on CBS, the 1-0 Los Angeles Rams coming off a close win on the road here versus the 0-1 Tennessee Titans. They put up a fight second half versus the Denver Broncos, which is technically, statistically, a top 5 overall defense. Cam Ward, very slow out the gate, but he had a depleted team. He doesn't have a good line, doesn't have a lot of weapons, especially with the injuries, but they made a little bit of a run there. Second half, but the Broncos had enough to pull it away. Right now, it's Rams versus the Titans. This game's going to be in Tennessee. The Titans are the underdog. The Rams, 5.5-point favorites. A 63.2% chance to win. Tennessee at 36.5. The over-under is going to be 41.5. Vegas does see this game being a lot lower scoring of a game as long as Stafford is healthy, and that is a massive, massive question mark. He is getting older. He's been battling a lot of injuries, especially in the offseason. If he's able to play, though, he has weapons on this team. Kyron Williams, he can catch it. He can run it. He has Higbee at the tight end position. He has Devontae Adams coming over. He has Nakua. He has Atwell. Lots of weapons. A very deep, young, quick, good hand wide receiver core. Then, of course, looking at Tennessee, Cam Ward, he's kind of by himself right now. He needs these other guys to step up. He needs the veterans to step up. Pollard can have a big game. A quarterback's best friend is a very good run game, but unfortunately, Tennessee's offensive line, very questionable here. They are at home. It is earlier in the season. If Stafford's not 100%, if he doesn't play this game, Tennessee, to me, will pull off the upset. They are due to get a win. But I'm going to go with the Rams. Stafford playing lower scoring game. They win it 23-17. Our next two teams on CBS at 1 p.m., both coming off of highly contested losses, especially the Jets game. They had that game down at the very end. They had it. They lost it, but they showed a lot of fight. Justin Fields showed a lot of promise here. It's crazy what he can do when you adapt the play calling to his skill set. 1 p.m., the Buffalo Bills 0-1 versus the 0-1 New York Jets. These teams very, very familiar with one another coming out of the same division. Right now, Buffalo heavy favorites on the road, 6.5-point favorites, 45.5 over under. The Bills, 68.9% chance to win. The Jets, a 30.9% chance. The Bills on paper, a very good defense last season, very capable defense, but the main thing that stands out about them is they have the reigning MVP award winner. When he's on this team, he's a straight gunslinger, but he had the most efficient season of his career last year, kept the turnovers down, took whatever the defense was giving him, and then just took a little bit more. He can run it. He can sling it down the field. He is a true playmaker in every facet of the word. Looking at the roster, Coleman, Shakir, Honestly, not the deepest wide receiver core, but the playmakers are there. When he needs a weapon, there's guys that he trusts on this team. And then the running back position, James Cook, this guy ran for a lot of touchdowns last season, had a great game on the ground. They have a pretty decent offensive line. They can lean on people. The Jets used to be a defensively focused team. There was absolutely zero defense on this team last week, but there was a lot of offense that cancels out. Justin Fields doing what he does, chucking the ball down the field, extending plays, taking off, getting a huge yardage on the ground. They have Breece Hall, very capable running back. At the wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Reynolds, Johnson. I think they're going to put up a fight here, but the Bills, their physicality, their playmakers, and Josh Allen, they're going to own the second half. Buffalo wins this one 28-20. And at 4:05 p.m. on CBS, the 0-1 Carolina Panthers. Carolina actually didn't play too bad the second half of last season. Bryce Young started to show maybe what his ceiling could be. Chuba Hubbard, everyone knew that you were going to run the ball, and still he was able to consistently run the ball when he was healthy. They're going to be on the road versus the 1-0 Arizona Cardinals. This is a team, when Kyler Murray is on, the things he does with his legs, the weapons he has, this team can score some points. They just have to make sure to play solid overall defense. Panthers want to rebound from the very, very inefficient, bad Week 1 performance they had versus the Jags. That was a game that they could have honestly pulled off the upset, but they did not bring their A game. Right now, Arizona, 4.5-point favorites, 45.5 over-under. Panthers, 37.6% chance to win. Arizona, 62.1% chance. Looking at the overall rosters, obviously Bryce Young, the starting quarterback for Carolina. Chuba Hubbard, if they can get him going, he can really open up the play action with this team. The wide receivers, McMillan, first-round pick, a lot of promise there. Leggett, Renfro, some veterans in the house. And for the Arizona Cardinals, when this offense is rolling, when Kyler Murray is extending the plays, rolling the pocket, getting outside the pocket, he is, just like Jaden Daniels, always still keeping his eyes looking down the field. They have James Conner, Trey Benson, they have Trey McBride. They have Marvin Harrison Jr., who's potentially due for a very big season this year. Zay Jones, Michael Wilson, Kyler Murray at the quarterback, running, throwing the ball. Give me Arizona winning this one at home, 28-23. And also on CBS at 4:05 p.m., the 1-0 Denver Broncos. They got off to a very slow start, but this team last year only giving up 17.5 points a game. Top 3 overall defense. They have Sean Payton. Sean Payton may be due for a Coach of the Year award soon. What he did with Bo Nix last year. Bo Nix's first, 4 to 5 games, he looked awful. After that, the last 11 to 12 games, he completely went off the charts. One of the most efficient, accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. He's kind of a dual threat. He will run if you force him outside, and when he does, he's very hard to tackle. He's very shifty, but he's trying to beat you with his arm, accuracy, short dink and dunk passes. Basically the same thing Sean Payton did with Drew Brees. Think a more athletic, and Drew Brees was pretty athletic, but a more athletic, quicker version of Drew Brees. They're going up against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts 1-0, coming off of a complete curb stomping of the Miami Dolphins. I don't think anyone had them winning that game 33-8. They beat the crap out of the Dolphins. Can they keep that momentum here? They are at home, welcoming the Broncos in, but we know one thing that travels, and that's defense, and Denver definitely has a good defense. Right now, Colts 44.2% chance to win. Denver 55.5. The Broncos 3.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. Looking at these rosters together, Denver stacked on both sides of the ball. Bo Nix, a great season last year for his rookie season. J.K. Dobbins. They have the young guy, R.J. Harvey, fresh out the draft. Cortland Sutton, Mims Jr., Franklin, Evan Engram. There's weapons at every single position. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and they're bringing in a top 3 defense. You really could not ask for more. Looking at the Colts, massive question here. Daniel Jones looked like the second coming of Peyton Manning last week versus the Dolphins. I'm sorry, Colts fans. I don't foresee that happening again. That's the best he's ever played. I don't think it's very likely he's going to do that again versus this Broncos defense. But he has some weapons here, especially when it comes to the running back position. Feed Jonathan Taylor the ball. Use the play action. Keep the ball on the ground. Suck up the clock. Use time of possession. Game control. Keep the ball out of the Broncos' hands. But it's easier said than done versus that Broncos front seven. They get after it. So obviously, Daniel Jones is going to have to use his legs a lot. He has some weapons here. Pierce, Downs, Pittman Jr. Those guys are veterans, but I think the Broncos defense, it's going to be too much. It's going to be overwhelming. I have them winning this one 21-13. And this next game may be the matchup of the week for week 2 of all of these NFL games. We have a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. We have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. It's going to be a crazy game. The Eagles coming off of a very, very close win versus the Cowboys. KC coming off of a close loss versus the Chargers. No surprise to us. We did pick the Chargers to upset KC. So we weren't surprised by that, but we're not saying that KC's bad. We just didn't have them winning that game. Can they rebound from that loss, learn some things from that loss, come back? It is hard to beat a good team 2 straight times playing them. The Eagles want to do it. The Chiefs want to avoid it. Right now, KC, 51.3% chance to win. The Eagles, a 48.3%. Practically a 50-50 split with the fans. Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45.5. So Vegas is letting you know this game is probably pretty much a pick-em. It could go either way. You can make very strong cases for either team to walk away with the win. This Eagles team is loaded in every single facet. A top 4 overall defense from last year. Great rush defense. The number 1 secondary last season. They're bringing back a lot of those guys. This team's going to be good. Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. It's what he does with his legs. Extremely balanced last year. Throwing for 189, running for 187. That's a 50-50 split down the middle. Saquon Barkley, over 2,000 yards last season. The number 1 running back in the NSL. Dallas Goedert, a stacked wide receiver core. Smith, Dotson, Brown, Cooper, Mechie, weapons up and down the field. KC, though, they are the veterans. They might have lost Worthy for a while, but when you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have Andy Reid, anything is technically possible. Although this team got curb stomped in the Super Bowl, that's the Super Bowl. That was last season. That has no bearing on what's going to happen this year. Pacheco, Hunt, Travis Kelce, Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown. There's weapons there. They have a good defense. They had a top 8 defense last season. Great defensive front 7, creating a lot of havoc in the backfield, creating turnovers, giving their offense the short field. But they were not able to do that in the Super Bowl. But now the blueprint is out there. They know what they did wrong. Will they be able to adapt? This is a tough game, guys. It's a 50-50 flip a coin. Give me the Chiefs winning round 2, 24-20. And our next game we're looking at 8:20 p.m. on ABC, the 0-1 Atlanta Falcons coming off of a close loss versus the Buccaneers. We did have the Bucs pulling that one off, but Atlanta always plays Tampa Bay close. They'll be on the road here versus the 0-0 Minnesota Vikings. Don't forget, as of me making this video, Monday Night Football hasn't happened. We don't know what's going to happen with the Vikings. We don't know what they're going to look like. That's a massive loss here. We're going into this game blind right now. J.J. McCarthy, rookie last year, did not throw the football the entire season. He was hurt. So now as technically this year is his rookie season on the actual field, but we haven't seen him throw in a regular season game yet. A lot of unknowns, and I hate unknowns. For the Falcons, Michael Penix, he's going to be your leading guy here. Stacked offensive roster. Bijan Robinson, Algiers, Kyle Pitts, London, Mooney, McLeod. There's lots of weapons on this team. Penix, he loves to go vertical. The offensive line has to hold up. Let them push this ball vertically down the field. You have a great run game. 2 really good running backs. One that can just run downhill at people. One who's more of a dual-purpose running back. But the Vikings here, top 5 defense last season, top 8 overall offense. But Sam Darnold is gone. The keys are in J.J. McCarthy's hands, but all those weapons are still there. Justin Jefferson, who might be the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. It is arguable. That's the point. It is debatable. He is in the conversation. Naylor, Adam Thielen's back. He's the veteran. The tight end room, you have Hawkinson. You have Aaron Jones Sr., Mason coming over, playmakers at every position. A defense that J.J. McCarthy can rely on. If for some reason he turns it over, he has a defense that can shut Atlanta down. Give me the Vikings winning this one, 27-21, but we're going to learn a lot more once we actually see the Monday night game, and we'll revisit this game later in the week after we've watched that. And we're now moving on to our final 2 games, our Monday slate games. You actually have 2 games this Monday night. That's fun. That's more Monday Night Football. Who can complain about that? The very first one, September 15th, 7 p.m. on ABC. The 1-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers bringing in one of the best offenses from last season. They're averaging 29.5 points a game. Baker, the comeback player of the year to me last year, throwing up and down the field. So many weapons on this team, especially once their offense gets back to being fully healthy. Once Chris Godwin is 100%, watch out for this team. They made the playoffs last year. They might do it again this season. They'll be playing the 0-1 Houston Texans. I'm hearing a lot of murmurs that the Texans might have the best overall defense in all of the NFL. That's something to keep your eye on. They lost a close one to the Rams, 14-9, but their defense was able to slow down the high-powered Rams offense. Right now, the Texans, 53.7% chance to win. Tampa Bay, a 45.9%, but the Buccaneers are the favorites, 1.5-point favorites, 44.5 over-under. Vic's bus roster, loaded at every position. You have Baker Mayfield at a quarterback, Bucky Irvin at running back, and one of the most efficient, reliable receivers in the NFL, Mike Evans. He gets 1,000 yards every single season. Chris Godwin, when he's fully healthy, the catch Emeka Egbuka had down the stretch for the touchdown. He's a first-round pick here coming out of Ohio State. A lot of promise for this guy. Looking at Houston, if Houston plays like their 2023 version, if Stroud gets back to the 2023 version, with this elite defense, this is a team you definitely have to keep your eye on. They have Chubb, Pierce, CJ Stroud, Schultz, Collins, Christian Kirk coming over from Jacksonville. This is a team that when they also get all those guys back, once you have a fully healthy Chubb and Pierce and guys like that, once they're able to run the ball efficiently, rely on that defense, they will be able to win games in the second half. That's when it's going to matter most, third, fourth quarter. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans winning this one at home. It's a close game, but they pull off the W. They win it 23-20. And our final game out of all of our Week 2 matchups, this one's going to be Monday night, 10 p.m., a late one on ESPN. The 1-0 Los Angeles Chargers coming off of that upset win versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be playing the 1-0 Las Vegas Raiders, also coming off of a win themselves. New coaching staff in town for the Raiders. Pete Carroll coming over from Seattle, bringing Geno Smith with them. Right now, the Raiders, with this new look team, a 37% chance to win this one, and LA 62.7. The Chargers, 3.5-point favorites, 45.5 over/under. The Chargers, they have the defense from last season. They have Harbaugh. They have the weapons at running back. They can run the clock. They have the weapons at wide receiver, especially now. They have Herbert. When Herbert is asked to sling it, he was slinging it up and down the field last week. He looked great last week. If he can continue that performance, they are in line for a very, very good season. And they have one of the best defenses, a top 5 overall defense from last season, and they shut down the run game. They're going to force you into third and long situations. The Raiders are trying to rebuild and retool right now. Looking at this Chargers team, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, the connection he has with Herbert is top-notch. Tight end, Disley, Conklin, younger guy here. Omarion Hampton, first-round running back. He was running up and down, running on the Kansas City Chiefs, a very difficult team to run the ball on. And when you look at the Raiders, there is weapons there. How does Geno Smith perform over the course of the entire season? You have Ashton Gentry once he gets fully going. Thornton Jr., Tucker, Jacoby Myers, he's definitely due for a big season. And you have Brock Bowers, who is the best receiving tight end in the NFL. Feed that guy the ball nonstop. Third and long situations, everybody needs to be looking at Brock Bowers. This game might be close for the first 1 or 2 quarters. I think the Chargers, with their defense, they're going to be able to bring them with them on the road. LA wins this one 26-17. Guys, that's our early Week 2 predictions, best bets, and picks for all of our Week 2 matchups. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And, of course, as always, thank you guys for watching.